Expo Vancouver is like 1 day away, and I could have did a preview of this year's Fan Expo Vancouver last week, but somehow another person was put into the lineup at the last minute. Plus, we also have a few guests that apparently will not be appearing at the expo this year. Kind of similar to what happened with last year, where apparently you had Charlie Cox and Vincent DeFario apparently not appearing at the expo, but we still have a few big reunions happening from like the Hobbits and the Lord of the Ring film series to some of the wizards from the Harry Potter film series, and even parts of the Cullen family, the Twilight film series. So if you're like a Potterhead or like a Twihard, or even a fan of the Hella Good shows, there's probably something for you. So, of course, Fan Expo this year is going to be happening between Valentine's Day / Family Day weekend, be happening between like February 14th until February 16th. And yeah, man, of course, my experience at the expo last year was like very fun. That I even saw a few people, including like the person in Spy Family that plays like Anya Forger, Megan Shipman, which somebody she signed her autograph, although even though somehow it might have been accidentally put in the recycle bin. And then also apparently saw the lady that plays like one of Damon's friends in the show, who's also in One Piece too, Michelle Rojas. And yeah, I mean there's gonna be a lot of fun people to see this year, even though that somehow there might be a few panels for me to see. And yeah, shall we go through like who will be appearing in the expo this year? Even though like somehow I'm kind of do this on the spot because I actually just found about these changes just before I was actually filming this. But so let's really go to the guest list and see who's going to be showing up at the expo this year. Which this is now originally somehow Carly Ells, who you'll probably know from like the Princess Bride, as well as Robin Hood Men in Tights, but also he was also in surprisingly Stranger Things, playing like corrupt mayor of Hawkins in the 3rd season. But somehow he will not be appearing. And we also thought the person that plays Mike and Nancy's mother, Karen Wheeler, who was also surprisingly in The Sopranos, Carla Buono was going to appear, but somehow she dropped out at the last minute. So she'll not be appearing, because if she was appearing, that would maybe she could sign my Stranger Things card book that I got from the screening of the last episode of the show. And then but yeah, but of course, one guest I'm probably very excited to see at the expo this year is probably someone from one of my favorite animes right now, which we'll get to in a moment. So as we go through who's going to be showing up at the expo this year, of course we got all the Hobbits showing up, part of like a tour of going to various fan expos, and like we have Elijah Wood, Sean Austin, Billy Boyd, and Dominic Mahogany, who will also be doing a panel kind of related with Lost, because he was also on that show. Maybe he might send my copy of the complete first season of Lost on DVD. But apparently I did ask Elijah Wood a question during the expo 2 years ago when he was there. Then you also got a Smallville reunion where you have like Tom Welling, and as well as local actor Christian Crook, and also Erica Durance kind of also being there. Plus, of course, someone who was at the expo last year, who was also in the Lord of the Ring film series, John Rhys Davies, will be showing up. I'm probably going to go back and forth between this guest list at times, because there's a few reunions happening at the expo. Then Ron Perlman from the Hellboy film series, as the ones directed by Guillermo del Toro, will be there in person. Some from The Mandalorian. Star Wars The Mandalorian. Kitty Sackhoff will be showing up. I don't know if I still have to catch up on that show before the new film that involves it. Star Wars The Mandalorian Rogue was released. And then you got the Fred and George Weasley, James and Oliver Phelps will be showing up, as well as the person that plays Neville Longbottom, which we'll get to in a moment. There's also going to be a reunion involving with The Goonies, which I actually saw that film yesterday, and it was a good film, even though somehow it was could say is almost as traumatizing as, let's say, Poltergeist, both produced by Steven Spielberg anyway. Apparently, Corey Feldman, who apparently was addressing that film, will be in person, and also this was the last minute person they added to the list. Apparently, The Boys' Karen Fukuhara will be there, so she'll be talking about The Boys, and if you're a fan of that show, do that. Plus, someone from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, James Marsters, will be there. Also, a Twilight reunion, which including probably one of my favorite characters in that film series. Of course, Ashley Greene, who plays Alice. Cullen in the film. I mean, she was the Vision. She'll be there, as well as some of the other family members in the Cullen family, Jonathan Radbone and Kevin Lutz and Peter Fancinelli. Then, for all you Stargate fans, you got Christopher Judge will be there in person, but he's also in one of the God of War games apparently. Then you got another friend from Lord of the Rings, David Wenham will be there in person. One of the Defenders, kind of related with the Avengers, of Mike Coulter, okay, Luke Cage will be there in person. And then, of course, Matthew Lewis, who plays Neville Longbottom in the Harry Potter films, will be there. Someone from Breaking Bad, Dean Norris, will be also there. I mean, and Captain Tate, who was originally going to be at the Expo last year, but then dropped out, will finally be coming to the Expo. Probably known as Donna Noble and Doctor Who from that show. Oh, someone from Arrow will be at the Expo too. Emily Rickards. There's the that plays probably like Josh Brolin's like love interest in the Goonies. Carrie Green will be there. So Dogpool from Deadpool Wolverine will be in attendance. Someone also from the Lost Boys, so another reunion with that. Jason Newland will be there. Another, also Breaking Bad related, but apparently Stephen Oak from Better Call Saul will also be in, and as well as he was on The Walking Dead too. Then we got this other big reunion with involving like the of course with the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where you have which actually the first film in the film series was actually released about 25 years ago, and apparently last year, and apparently of course at the same time there was also the apparently it's like box set involving with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the Arrow video release, which you can probably see him show over here, which I actually began going through the films. I just saw the first one for the first time. Actually, this will be first time watchers for all the films, and yeah, I mean, like it's apparently it's going to be like well, I mean, so far it's great so far, but I mean, I'm probably might actually ask maybe the person that plays April O'Neil and at least one of the Ninja Turtles, probably maybe sign my copy of that eventually. Okay. But of course, all of them will be in attendance apparently, as well as one that plays April. I mean, including the people that play the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You got Ken Scott, Brian Toshi, Aaron Reyes Jr., and Robbie Fisk, plus the person that plays April O'Neil, Judith Hogg, and also the person that plays Shredder in the will actually be in attendance. Then you got someone from Battlestar Galactica as well. They're also doing a panel too as well with Alejandro Giuliani. If you're a big fan of, let's say, the Hella Good shows, apparently the creator of the show and probably some of the people in it will be in attendance, including Rodano, let's see who else. And others too, as you can see over here. Just gonna go. There's more actually. And then and that guy would be Francois Chow, who plays Shredder in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film series. Then a few Broadway stars are gonna be in attendance, including Christian Borel, Joe Pez, and Josiana Albado, and YouTuber Sue will be in attendance. In animation, apparently the person that plays Winnie the Pooh, Jimmy Cummings, will be in attendance. I mean, plus a few people from like the Sonic game series and also My Little Pony, including like Brian Drummond, Chen Kent. Oh, and which apparently I think they were there last year, I think, at the expo. And then another from My Little Pony, Nicole Oliver, someone from the recently revived X-Men '97 animated show for Hale, and from Star Wars Rebels, Katie Sackhoff will be in attendance. Now for anime, for this one, this is probably where it has the guest that I'm probably excited to see at the expo. The person that plays Frieren, and Frieren, which I actually just like watched like the first season of the show, and it's probably like one of my favorite animes right now. It's kind of great. It's even though there's like a lot of montages seen, and also, Frieren is also kind of doing Buriko a lot at times, and also gets stuck in treasure chests. But of course, the person that plays her, Mallory Roddick, will be there, which apparently she was also in Fairy Tail, which I think she plays Urza in the show. I think, but also there's also going to be some panels with various people from Naruto, including Molly Flanagan, and Robert Riss, someone from One Piece, the person who plays Yusef, Sonny Star will be there. Plus, there's also going to be a Death Note reunion of the original anime, where you got Brad Swally and as well as Brett Drummond and Alejandro Giovanni and and Shannon Chan. They're all in that show, at least the dub version. Someone from My Hero Academia is in attendance, which actually that show just recently ended, with David Matrunga in attendance, and someone from the recent, like the new Pokemon show, which currently has a theme song by Hikaru Morita and Rina Matsuda from Sakura 46. May not be heard in the dub version, but apparently Hayden Devani will be there. Then you got a few idol groups if you're a big fan of that being in attendance. Plus a few stars from gaming, including some Jennifer Hale from Mass Effect and Overwatch. Someone from Resident Evil 4, Nick Apostol. Yeah, there's also a reunion involving some of the people in Grand Theft Auto 5, including Ned Luke, Sean Fonteno, and Stephen Ogg. We also have Alejandro Sav, and Genevieve Bertrand, who's also in Resident Evil 4, will be in attendance. Plus someone from Honkai Star Rail with Hayden Devanu, someone from Ghost of Tsushima. Well, actually, it's the guy from Play Shredder in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Film series. David Marga from the Fire Emblem game will be in attendance. Plus, you got and Brad Swallow, which I mentioned earlier. And then you got a few comic drawers in attendance too. If you're a big fan of that, you can probably to see them. And then additional people in attendance, plus a few cosplayers apparently showing up too, including Cosplay, Cosweety, and Fickle Violets and Mitchell Cosplay. And with that, apparently, that's who will actually be appearing at Fan Expo Vancouver this year, which, it's still going to be very exciting with all the reunions, even though some guests drop out the last minute. But of course, although for some of the panels that are happening, it might be in conflict, because apparently, during one section, there's a possible chance that I have to decide, do I like to see Lana Lang or Fred and George Weasley? But yeah, it's gonna be. And I also found apparently that the BSAT Anime Club is also gonna be back, since they were absent last year, although they were there when I was when I was at the expo. Apparently, at the beginning, for 2 years ago, apparently kind of working on a little story for school, and then but yeah, it's plus wonder who's also gonna win the cosplay competition again too, which yes, and then after the expo happens, I'll probably do a little summary of the expo, which on the YouTube channel, and we'll post some stories to tell from that. But if you kind of enjoyed this kind of last minute preview of Fan Expo Vancouver this year, you could probably like this video, or probably subscribe to my channel, or I probably will talk more about anything pop culture. With that, I'll see you later. Bye, everyone.